Blue.
I would also like to extend my sympathy and condolences to the people of Canterbury in the wake of the recent earthquakes. On the back of the September earthquake and the more recent ones in February 22nd, which caused massive destruction, these recent earthquakes are yet another body blow to the people of Canterbury. And I want to tell the people of Canterbury, I know that we're all with them and they are not alone. My colleague Nikki Wagner, who is doing a wonderful job in Christchurch, told me there was huge relief. Then after the earthquakes, the Prime Minister announced that he and the government were just as determined as ever to rebuild Canterbury and get it back on its feet. Mr Speaker, this government has a plan to get our economy back on track, and Budget 2011 will do just that. It was a budget that was carefully thought through, carefully considered, and it will do just that. It's not based on borrow and hope. It was well thought out. It firmly sets out the next steps to build faster growth, create jobs and savings and productive investment. It's about ensuring that the government gets into surplus by 2014-15. It will effectively halve the budget, halve our deficit next year and halve it the year before, and then we'll be out of it. And then thereafter. Then we will be on track, Mr Speaker. We are a government that is focused on the issues that matter to New Zealanders. We are focused not on the little things like paint jobs on Premier House or worrying about they'll get distracted by the BMWs that were bought by Helen Clark. We will be a government, Mr Speaker, that won't be spending up large with a lot of uncosted policies. We are about investing significantly more in health and education while continuing to protect the most vulnerable New Zealanders. As we promised, we will be setting this very clearly out in policy so the voters, New Zealanders, can decide on November 22nd. There will be no lolly scramble. It would be an irresponsible government to engage in a big spend-up and thereby put our economy at risk when New Zealanders themselves are working so hard to pay off their own debt. Equally, the budget isn't a slash-and-burn exercise. It's about building faster economic growth around higher national savings, setting a credible path back to surplus and repaying debt. And it's importantly, Mr Speaker, for the people of Canterbury, it's about rebuilding Christchurch over the next few years. Mr Speaker, we are planning to extend the mixed ownership model to our 4 state-owned energy companies and reduce the government's majority shareholding in New Zealand. We plan to offer investors shares in Meridian, Mighty River Power, Genesis, Solid Energy and Air New Zealand. This will free up between $5 to $7 billion to pay for new public assets like schools and hospitals. Importantly, we've set the bottom line that the government must have the majority stake. That way we'll keep the ownership of these companies. We ask the question, would New Zealanders, if they'd had the choice, would they have wanted a stake in failed in finance companies, or would they wanted to have a stake in these rock-solid companies? I think we all know the answer to that. We know that many New Zealanders are keen to invest in solid, productive assets that have the potential to pay good dividends. Our mixed ownership model puts New Zealanders at the front of the queue when it comes to buying shares. We will be also determined to ensure that this mixed ownership model won't disadvantage New Zealanders who rely on the services these companies provide. We've looked carefully at the rules governing these companies, and we are satisfied that they will protect New Zealanders from unprecedented excessive increases in power prices. And in fact, we think there's very, very strong evidence that this type of model will actually benefit consumers. It'll be good for the business and it'll be good for consumers. The ownership model will free up billions of dollars for the government to be spent on important assets like schools, like hospitals and public infrastructure. It will guarantee government control over these 5 important companies, boost the New Zealand share market, give more Kiwi companies the opportunity to grow, and give Kiwis a fantastic opportunity to invest in this country's future. Mixed ownerships, Mr Speaker, will achieve these things while ensuring our country doesn't get deeper into debt. It's a smart policy and will strengthen New Zealand's economy. A stronger economy is the only way we will create jobs, boost incomes and provide the high quality public services we desperately need.
Darian Fenton.